Hello everybody again. First of all, I'd like to welcome you to our first fall exhibition. We have typically 6 or 7 exhibitions a year. This is our first of the fall season. We'll have 2 more, like Samantha mentioned. Claire Pope will be coming next on October 6th. Make sure, I was going to read a little bit about it, but I'm going to try to expedite this a little bit. But make sure you do go to the cultural calendars and look at these things. We plan these exhibitions to be far-reaching and to reach across the liberal arts. So don't be thinking, well, it's just for an art class. This speaks to a number of different disciplines, and we like that interdisciplinary population. So thank you for coming. Please come back. Look at cultural calendar. And thank you for some returning faculty and staff and the upper powers in the corner. Thank you for bringing, upping our game a little bit. It's nice to see you all. November 17th, I'm just going to quickly mention the student juried exhibition. If you are interested, make sure that you talk to your faculty in your studio classes, and they'll make sure to let you know. Everyone has an opportunity to submit work for consideration. It's a juried exhibition. It's a great place to become part of this community. For tonight's exhibition, Lamar's going to speak about 25 minutes, 30 minutes, and then wrap up with some Q&A. Please silence your phone, and if you absolutely must leave early, please do so with as much courtesy and stealth-like walking as possible. That door is probably the loudest door on campus when you're leaving. So if you do have to leave, just pull it shut quietly. We're also going to take like a 30-second, 1-minute break between the end of his presentation and the Q&A. Again, we understand students have to leave sometimes, so we'll give people an opportunity to leave if they need to do that at that time. Lamar Whidbee is an interdisciplinary artist whose practice spans painting, sculpture, and large-scale installations. His work is deeply rooted in exploring the intersections of mental health, personal growth, and community, drawing from his experience as both an artist and a licensed clinical mental health counselor associate. With a focus on the emotional landscape shaped by the struggle and triumph, his art seeks to foster introspection and dialogue, often touching on themes of vulnerability, resilience, and liberation. Whidbee's approach to art making is informed by his upbringing in rural North Carolina and his formal education in the fine arts. He holds a master's in clinical mental health counseling from North Carolina State University, an MFA from the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, and a Bachelor of Arts in Studio Art from North Carolina Central University. His educational journey and experiences working with diverse communities inform his commitment to creating art that is accessible and resonant with a wide audience. In addition to his artistic practice, Whidbee has taught painting as an adjunct professor at Duke and has been previous teaching experience at Forsyth Tech Community College and the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. His art's been showcased in solo exhibitions, including Amygdala at Art Space in Raleigh, Daddy's Home at Cam Raleigh, and Phobia at the Durham Art Guild. He also participated in numerous group exhibitions across the country. Whidbee has created public works including the solo project Get Well Soon at Dorothy Dix Park in Raleigh, and a team project at Wake Tech's Wendell campus. His dedication to engaging with local communities is evident in these public projects, where he speaks to involve residents in the creative process and ensuring the artwork reflects their collective voice and experience. In his dual role as an artist and mental health counselor, Whidbee aims to use art as a vehicle for healing, reflection, and empowerment, making his work a source of inspiration for those who encounter it. Please help me welcome Lamar Whidbee.
Everybody doing good?
Yes.
Cool, thank you for having me. I'm gonna talk a lot, of course, but if I ask you some questions, that's cool too, right?
Yes.
Y'all are good group. All right, so today you're gonna learn a little bit about me, a little bit about, obviously, my family, a bit about why I create the way I do, and just overall my connection to this work, my connection to the people involved in this work, and yeah, you're gonna learn about Lamar. So, gave me a clue. So let me introduce you to Stone. Stone is 8. He is super energetic, right? Like he's definitely my twin. You emotions, right? Like it's always bad when he gets up and go to school. It's like I hate it and all the stuff that he comes on that. Star. Now, Star 100% lives up to her name, right? She's the one who's in every picture. She's the one who, if Daddy is going through some stuff or whatever, she out of nowhere, it's like, Dad, it's okay. Dad, at the end of the night, Dad, can you pray with me? That's Star, right? And then let me introduce you to Sonella. She dead, right? So Sonella is my wife of now 12 years. Yeah, Sonella is my wife of 12 years. She's the one who encourages this whole thing, right? Is the backbone to a lot of times who I am and what happened. She runs the show a lot of ways, but I'm forever grateful for her. So this work that you see obviously is about these people, right? Okay. It's gonna get a little personal, all right? So if you look at my work, from the beginning of time, I've always been connected to writing, right? Like even, I played football in college, all sports throughout high school and all this stuff, but one of my favorite courses to take in school, outside of PE and art, it was English. To be able to paint a picture with words, to be able to express who you are, what you do, just your whole perspective with words is everything to me. And I really didn't realize it until recently, because this is actually my notebook, right? I keep this journal with me everywhere I go. Even if I'm going to the store, I keep it in the passenger seat just in case I need to write down an idea. But writing is everything. So if you see these little scribbles in my work, where people say, oh, that's scribbles, and many references to, I think you said it before, Saitwambu, right? But if I'm being honest with you, this writing is just cursive writing. So at the beginning of all of these works, before anything is created, there's writing. This writing expresses this prayer, right? It's the prayers that I pray. It's the thoughts that I think. It's all the stuff that can come out in the form of words. Because, anybody art majors? Art minors? Don't be afraid of it. You're a creator. Throw it up. But we know, like the beginning of a canvas, it's crazy. No? Right? To walk up to it and say, I'm going to create this thing. For a lot of people, it can be a bit overwhelming. So what do? I write about it. I write about what was going on that day. Like I said, I pray about it. There are oftentimes, many times, I'm breaking down in tears, going through it, happy or sad. Because this is the way I get my work out. I get my thoughts out. You follow me? So, if we look at reference points, how do you choose these subjects? I have people ask me, how do you choose what to paint and when to paint? Like you just find stuff, like you always make it. Like how? Where do you find the inspiration? Well, the cool thing about it is I love my family. And the cool thing about it is I'm always, in addition to being a therapist, like I just throw that out the window for a second. I really just love being curious about people. I'm curious about people and who they are and what they're thinking and what they do and how they became who they are, just all the stuff. Right? Anyone else like that? Oh, y'all all know. See, I got you. I got you. So when we think about why I make and what I make, this can be used as an example. So I'm not the only one who had addiction in the city. No. Yeah. Cool. So this came from a moment. We just moved from this house about a year ago, but we're here, and my wife is sitting there. She went to NC State. She's from New York. So that's like a perfect example of who she was. The clothes and the mother, right? But that's not necessarily who she is. Just a woman sitting on the countertop in front of some dirty dishes. How do we feel about that image? You have a frown on your face. Talk to me. I like it. Yeah.
I feel like when I see this, it's like a sense of overwhelm.
Okay.
Yeah, the dishes and like she's over it and all of those sort of
Yeah. 100% correct. When I look at this, I see a woman who, you have 2 children. At the time, they're, 6 and 3, something like that. Working a job, paying bills. You have a husband, so you really have 3 kids. And so, y'all laughing at that? So, but you have her here, and I take this picture because not that I want to necessarily see her in this light as this overwhelmed woman, but why not depict this and capture this moment, because it doesn't have to be this way. The title of this piece is called I Do. Now when you get married and at the end of your vows, what do you say? Crowd participation, I love it. Please let me come back, this is good. So, when I say I do, it's not just looking at her like, oh, you're a beautiful woman and I'm attracted to you in every way and all of that. Like, homie, what are you actually doing around here? How are you participating in the home? How are you raising these children? So when I say I do, that's what I mean in this. But going back to it, to reference, I take photos that lead me to thoughts and ideas and emotions that I feel can connect with the masses, right? So first we start with the what? What's the first thing that I do? I write it, exactly. I write it, and then it's the photo, right? We work with the photo. So to transfer the photo, it's not necessarily saying that I'm going to depict the exact thing that I see. Because you have to stretch it a bit. It'll be boring if you just copy, not disrespect anyone who does, but to just copy what you see. There's more to life, right? Like there's more to her outside of just this image. What is that? And that's what I'm digging for. To see her in this light where she's more than the obvious. To marry Sanella in 2013 was the greatest moment that I've had. But then you add, any parents know? Okay. It's about to get interesting. So, to add on, do you remember your first child? Yeah. Anyone siblings? You remember the first, like when they were born, the youngest one? Right? Those moments like, oh, this precious, beautiful thing. It's amazing. The crazy part is, it's my responsibility. How in the world, I got married at 23. I asked her to marry me at 23. My oldest comes at 28. I'm still growing up. I'm 35 today and it's still the same thing, so I'm still growing up. And I have these children, I have this lady to provide for, right? These children to be there for. How does it happen? And all of a sudden, guess what shows up? COVID. Where in the world did COVID come from? I'm still a young guy trying to raise these children, trying to maneuver this family, and then this shows up. So, we're taking the children to the doctors. We're dealing with all the fevers and all the nose swabs. To this day, my son, he won't go to the doctor without panic. Because they had to stick the thing so far up his nose. Anyone remember that?
Yes.
Oh, your face said you hated that. It's like, man, I can't stand the doctor. But to this day, he's panicked by that. He's bothered by the idea of having to go to the doctor because of what happened during this moment. So as a father, how do I manage these things? Because the crazy part is, just because I'm the adult, I'm actually afraid too. Y'all remember the moments, well, I can't speak for you, but I remember the moments during COVID when everyone's masked up. Everybody's wiping down stuff that came to the door from people delivering it and all that. It's like, oh man, you gotta go out to the grocery store. Looking at them, I'm a superhero, I'll go do it. Deep down inside, I'm like, dang, man, forget them groceries. I don't know what's gonna happen. Will I catch something? Will I make it back home? I don't know. Am I gonna infect my children and my family? What's really gonna happen? These things that you carry as a parent, as a man, like how do you pull that together? Am I the only one with these questions? So, what I did was, after a doctor's visit, well, during a doctor's visit, took pictures, right? Take photos, and just create what I see. I want my children to remember these moments. Remember these times where they are so vulnerable, so precious, and understand that life is so fragile. Right? But while I understand that life is so fragile, this piece, not featured here, but Dear Mama. And you see more of the writing. Can someone tell me what the writing is one more time?
Thoughts and prayers.
What is it? Cursive. Why? Yes, it's how it starts. There's thoughts, there's prayers. It's basically journaling. So in all my work, you're going to see that. This piece here, Dear Mama, it's about 144 inches wide. Yeah, it's about 144 inches wide. And again, it makes me question parenting in every way. My son was here, he was on the floor one day, and my wife was like, give him some responsibility. She's like, hang up your clothes. Like, put your little shirt on the hanger. This guy proceeds to have a whole full blown out tantrum. A whole tantrum, right? Me being an artist, of course I'm gonna take a picture. That's what I'm saying. Real life stuff. I have snot nose pictures, everything. I'm a horrible parent. Anyway, but to capture this moment, going back to this, to capture this moment, knowing that she wanted him to place his clothes up, I'm like, man. It's called Dear Mama because I had to think back to the moments where, with my mother, with my parents, all the rough moments and all the stuff I gave them. And now I actually have to face it. I have to face it. So, I use writing, I use photography, and combine them to express these moments. Make sense? Now, thinking about what these things are, what these moments are, and how I'm feeling about being a parent, how I'm feeling about being a husband, how I'm showing up in these precious times. What does that look like? We have any fathers in the room? Choose. Rock, paper, scissors. What you got?
I got 4 kids and 4 grandkids.
Shoot, good job. 4 kids and 4 grandkids. So, what is it like to hold? What is it like to be the father, to be the grandfather that everyone looks to?
It's a big responsibility that I tend to deflect with humor.
Why?
I don't know. I mean, I had a wonderful, great dad. I would love to be able to live up to that standard. Sometimes I think I do, sometimes I don't. And to deal with that tension, I make jokes.
For sure. How about you, sir?
1 daughter.
1 daughter. Nice. I'm the only child. How is that? Okay, how's that? For sure. Teenagers are normal?
Normal in the sense that it's
Right. For sure. So these things that you said, like you deflect with humor, and yeah, she's been a normal teenager, but there are some things. That's exactly why these pieces are created, right? And when you look at these works, someone sitting beside me now, who is it? Oh, yeah. We're cool? Yeah? So these pieces, as a man 1 through 4, I'm trying to express the emotions that, not in a gender way, but thinking about the emotions that a man actually goes through. What are you dealing with? Because many times, oftentimes, yeah, we say go to therapy, but how many guys, how many men actually, traditionally, how many men actually do that? Right? Like we aren't supposed to show that much emotion. Anyone disagree? It's okay if you do. Traditionally, society says we aren't supposed to show that much emotion. Society says you're supposed to keep it together. Society says to deflect with humor and not face your stuff. So what do I do? As a therapist, yeah, I go to therapy. But those moments where you can't, those moments where you feel like, I don't have anyone to talk to. I can't speak to anyone because I really don't know how to process my feelings. That's what this is. I can't process these feelings because, for one, they may be new. And 2, if I say something, thinking about my own pride and can't put that aside, what is that like? Right? So, real quick, I'm sorry. Looking at this, and when I look at, anyone notice like the unfinished versions of this, the unfinished look? Yeah, do we question it? Okay. So that's because when we're dealing with this stuff, when we're dealing with these emotions, and we can't process it, memories are, if you go back to, I don't know, last week, when we say, what did you eat last Tuesday? You could probably remember like the restaurant or something like that, who knows? But you don't really vividly remember every part of that moment, right? So as I'm dealing with, I don't know, depression, anxiety, and all these things, the memories aren't necessarily clear, but the emotions are there. Anyone seen this? Yeah? What do we gather from this guy? I hear a lot of chuckles. What do you get? It's okay to speak. He's thinking. Curiosity? What is he thinking about?
Looking for Genesis.
This exact thing. Oftentimes, like I said, we don't go to therapy. As a guy, you hang out with your homies, but you might talk about football. You might talk about the car that he's building. You rarely, maybe I'm speaking for myself, every once in a while you might talk about the family for real. And really dig into it. Like, man, what are you going through with your wife? How are you treating her? How is she treating you? You rarely deal with those things. Your kids, how are you talk about discipline? What does that look like in your household? When they're not listening, how are you managing that? How was your job? Because you just got fired last week. How are you managing these things? Because you just got fired last week and the light bills due and the kids have to go to summer camp. What you gonna do? It's an emergency. So this piece here, Amygdala, made a collaboration with a pretty cool friend of mine. His name is Stephen Hayes. Stephen Hayes, write that down. He's the guy. Real quick plug. Stephen Hayes just created a piece about fashion icon Andre Leon Talley over at SCAD. It's a huge situation. So if you Google, Instagram, all this stuff, check it out. Stephen's that guy. But anyway, going back to it, I'm thinking, because I always go here, like, man, I'm always, you go to the bathroom and try to process the stuff because you go outside, what do the kids do? Daddy, help me with this. Daddy, my wife, Lamar, that's what it feels like. You want to be present, you want to be there. But how? Am I the only one questioning this about myself? Sometimes? No. How do you process? How do you remain positive? How do you become? How do you remain a role model to your own family when you're dealing with a whole bunch of stuff? So this piece on the toilet, I equate to the thinker. Right? The guy was sitting there like this. But the only way I'm able to really think is in the bathroom. Because it's so much chaos outside. I'm not just talking about family, for real. But obviously, I'm a black guy. I leave home, still same stuff. I'm taking in stuff. Who do I talk about it with? How? True story. I'm driving one day in my neighborhood. And it's right, crazy part is it's right before a client too. But I'm driving, I'm going to my neighborhood. I let a car out, so I stopped. I let a car out. I took my time to. I promise I didn't rush. The car comes out. I go in. I'm driving about 10 yards. Car zooms past. And pulls in front. This is probably like 2 years ago. Pulls in front. Cuts me off. I'm like, my man screams, "You nigger, don't ever do that again, you stupid nigger." That's what he says, true story. What do you do after that? How? I have 2 small kids at home and a wife. What do I do? Because at this point in time, this guy has this window there. He's about mid-late 50s, I think. He has this window there, screaming at me like that. How do you take that home? And who do you talk to? Who do you call in that moment? When you really don't know what's going to happen to your life. So when I say amygdala, anyone know what the amygdala is? No? Oh, say it. You're right. It's part of the brain, exactly. What does it do? Oh, talk to me, yeah. Fear response, fight, flight, or what? Freeze. And it's not about like some danger coming here. As a father, as a husband, the amygdala trigger, the fear response, what do you do, homie? How do you manage this thing? You can pray about it for real. Thank you, God, for all you do, but what do you do? This piece of work in progress, the finished product actually, the finished picture actually sold to the lady who owned this house. The owner of the house was it's going to be weird to say this. The owner of the house, though, the original owners of the house were the owners of my family. Creepy. Right? So going back to it, and looking at that, I was raised in a town, Clemens County, Hereford, North Carolina, right? Every day going to school, I would pass by this house. Not really understanding what it was until one day I met an art gallery, an opening, and the guy shows up and he's like, "Hey, I'm your cousin." What? You're a 70-year-old white man who's like 6'5". How is this happening? I don't understand this. He's like, "Yeah, I'm your cousin. My family owns your family." What? Yeah, that house up the street, that's ours. I'm like, yeah, so of course, me being a jerk. So yeah, because we're family related, I had like 67 acres that's supposed to be mine, huh? My man is like, nah, no one had a farm that small. So as I'm raising my children, going back to it, how do you raise them in a world? How do you raise them in a world where COVID exists? You have to protect them, their health, their well-being. And you move forward because they are children of color. And that's so beautiful. Aggravating this crap with this. How do you protect these children? And walking around with all these health scares, all of this racial stuff, just being just pure human, it's my responsibility. It's my responsibility to take care of this household. How does it happen? So, because I'm questioning this, I also question, what is it like not to have to worry about it? Real quick, I know we all deal with stuff, I'm not trying to get too personal, but I am, okay. So, raise your hand, who has something that you would really like to get rid of? Not a physical thing. Not like, oh, my car is not, I'm tired of it, I need a new one, or I need to go buy a new shirt or something. I'm saying like that thing where you wake up every day and you're stressed out and you can't let it go.
My grandma has dementia, and my mom, every day she calls and she talks about how she's feeling. My grandma is currently at home, and my grandpa keeps having heart problems continuously every single day. And she calls me to tell me about it, and I can't do anything. So every time she talks to me about it, I just want to cry and I just want to help her, but she's not here and I'm not there, and so I can't help her. But, I mean, you just have to keep going through life every day, just hoping that everything will just be going right.
For sure.
But that's something that just
Okay. One more quick. Where we at? Yes.
I spent a lot of my teenage years
unfortunately, that just doesn't go away one day. And I think I'll always carry a bit of that with me, and I don't know what it's like to wake up and not wonder if this is the day it comes back, if this is the day that I just can't do it anymore. And it's hard to move on, I guess.
Sure. Thank you both for sharing, because you didn't have to. Much respect. Much respect. Having that said, right, the rest of the work that you see, and the work that you see here, some of the work that you see here is rooted because of this piece. Titled Monday. Monday being the, I guess Sunday is, but Monday being the first day of the week, right? And when I look at Monday, I go back to the miracle question. Anyone know the miracle question? If you could wake up tomorrow and something were different, what would it be? And for many people, that's different. We have two examples here, and I'm sure everyone in this room has something. You're human, it happens. So this week's Monday is created because of that. I'm asking the question, when I say how am I doing these things as a father? How am I doing these things as a husband? How am I existing like this and doing these things as a black man? It's happening because, well, I asked this question with Monday, or answered that with Monday in a way where if you wanted to be different, what would it look like? And it's right here, you're taking a second to acknowledge the thing, right? Monday was created because people don't want to carry whatever that is over into the next day. What would it actually be like to take these issues and wake up tomorrow and say, I don't have them anymore? That would be crazy, wouldn't it? Exactly. So Monday was created, this piece in the middle, it was created to express that. My children were slated to have or not my children, the whole family, we were slated to have a photo shoot, right? But they're young, ADHD and stuff, so they're talking about shit. I was late, we were late, it's okay. 5 minutes. So, that happened. And with that, my wife is like, Lamar, you're pretty decent photographer. Just like, take the photos. It's like, it'll be okay, it's not that serious. So, we missed the appointment and we take them to this park. And in the park, they proceed to just run and go. And immediately it's like, man, we should have did this first. Because what is it like for them to just go and be? This picture taken of my daughter, the star, that wasn't planned. She was legit sitting here, she was seriously sitting here, picked up a flower, and she was really smelling it because she felt like it. What would it be like to wake up and you could really just smell that flower? And you didn't have to take these things to the next day, to the next week, right? When we think about our mental issues or our race or our gender or different things that we deal with, what is it like to wake up and not have to think about that? Not have to think about this guy following behind me and calling me a whole nigger because I'm black, because my skin's a little darker than his. Not having to think about that at all. Not having to turn on the news and this happens and that happens because someone was here or they were this gender or this race. Monday was eventually photo painting. Eventually it was taken and put, it's a 15 by 13 foot piece at Dorothea Dix Park in Raleigh on the side of the school building, which is a building that was created for the criminally insane. That's why you see bars on the windows. Monday was the beginning of a lot of these pictures. So, when I talk about what would it be like to let these things go, I arrive at a place like this. I arrive at this piece with my son sitting on a picnic table in the park. Well, sitting on a picnic table in the park. Me and my daughter. Now, because she's the youngest, she will sing and do everything her brother does. Everything. Random songs, she doesn't even know the words. She just copying what. Like, what are you talking about? She's just copying what he's saying. And I admire this piece, but I admire this photograph originally because she was laying there looking up at him. But he's the person, it's either hot or cold, right? And I'm looking at these lemons. And I see him sitting there. I'm like, homie, you really have to make a choice about this thing. Because at some point, you don't always get to wake up and life is different. Right? We don't always get to wake up and no one sees me for who I am for real. We don't get to wake up and everything's just a miracle. To wake up is, but y'all follow what I'm saying. So for him to sit there like that, holding the bunny, they were supposed to be chanting, but holding the bunny in his mind, you make a choice. How am I really gonna live this day? In some cases they can be. How am I really gonna go about this? So that's where you get the lemons, the sweet and the tart. Who can make a really good lemonade? You can. I don't believe it. You put your hand down too fast. But that's where these come from. He has to make a choice. Are you gonna choose to go the right way and see these lemons and make that lemonade and make it sweet? Or you can look at these things as sour and tart and choose to have and choose to have a negative situation. Every circumstance we have, everything we come across in this life, yes, it's not according to our desire. But what do you do with it when it shows up? That's the question. Do they look the same? Similar? Are our choices like that too? We can go left or right. It's kind of the same. Today might not be like yesterday, but they look the same. Am I going to choose not to move forward? Or not? He's kind of reserved sometimes. Obviously, that's why I showed you this one. He's kind of reserved sometimes. He's the cautious one. Right? I need to see what it is. What is it that I'm eating? So to have an image of him flying like that, it's like him jumping off the cloud and letting go. These works are about breathing and letting go, or even choosing to. A lot of the texture in the skin, I grew up admiring, I guess in my art career, I grew up admiring Whidbee, Titus Kafar, people like Kadir Nelson. Man, the cover of New York was gorgeous. So that's why, if you notice, the skin that I paint and how I do it is because of artists like that. But to create this work is for me to allow my children to see themselves, going through some stuff, But as they grow, as they mature, as they are able to understand what this art is and why their dad was speaking about these things and creating these things, they're able to see themselves as free. Because they won't always be young. They won't always be as giving and just light. Life does something to you. So how do you manage it? How do you choose to manage it? Who do you have around you? What circle are you building to keep it free? To allow yourself to live and jump, be free. Any questions?